What's up, guys? It's your boy Fiskitti here, and welcome back to another video here on the internet. So, almost did the thing where I said autism again. Crazy, right? I didn't mean to do that. I'm going insane! So, last episode, we didn't really end up getting much done in the realm of buildings and stuff, or just like generally, working through this whole shelling thing, this whole building, which, if you don't know, what face shelling is, I went through a very laborious explanation in one of the previous episodes. I think it was episode 9, maybe 10, I'm not sure, the spiel. Basically, fantasy cyberpunk is the simplest way to describe it. Or fantasy with cyberpunk aesthetics and a lot more greenery. That's sort of what it is. But so today, I don't know if we'll be able to get all of this done, but I want to do a little bit to do with some paths. So I want to just kind of start a little path going through here. We don't really have to decorate it right now. I just want to know kind of generally where it will be. And I think we'll kind of connect up with the path here. Mike can move some of this a little bit. Yeah. And so I think we can have this path connect over here and run through here to this main area over here that we're working on. Cactus. And that way we can kind of do some more work in the clear space without having it completely disconnected from the other area we've worked on, and also without having to directly do stuff there. Whoop. Because I would like to... I'm great at combat, guys, can't you tell? It's the only reason I play the game. Clearly. But yeah, so I wanna start working on building a path in this general direction. And I don't think we'll be able to do as much kind of greenery I don't have my elytra on. Don't think we'll be able to do quite as much like greenery and stuff, but I would very much so like to add more trees like this. And so I've been looking a lot into trees and like greenery and stuff and landscapes and whatnot. And you know, ever since I first visited Utah, but especially since the last time I visited Utah in August, I because I'm from Tennessee, right? I live in Tennessee. And so I've really appreciated the greenery a lot more since that trip, since like a week and a half of living in the pure desert. And so I've started to kind of really observe the landscape a lot more in Tennessee and just like really take it all in, because I know it's going to be gone from my life for the most part for a while here in a couple years. And also because like I like to draw landscapes. And so something I've noticed is, you know, something in that Minecraft kind of does, which I don't think it really has any reason to do anything else, but if it's the same type of tree, it's all the leaves are kind of the same. It's all kind of the same color. I should probably turn on VSync. But the I've noticed, especially as we've started to transition into autumn, that the trees have started to get this kind of yellowish tint to them. And like they're still green, but they're just oh so slightly more yellow. And then a very few trees will be oh so slightly like oh so slightly like violet or red or what have you. And you know, the further we get into autumn, the more those will start to turn into full-on reds and oranges and browns and stuff. But you know, right now it's it's a lot of different types of greens and yellows in particular, as the majority of it. And so the point is there's a lot of variation while still staying within yellows and greens. And so something I want to do with this kind of area is try to kind of simulate that with texture, right? So like with this is a very Erd Tree-esque, like from Elden Ring, but we have all this texture, right? Like there are the glass panes, there are the hay bales, the glowstone, the yellow terracotta, stuff like that. And so we kind of have these all layering up to make this texture, the texture of this tree, and which also adds to the perception of color to the viewer. And so I want also to do that with these kind of like, you know, more typical trees, like the greener trees. And I'm thinking that we can start to kind of implement, you know, like I think we can take maybe some oak, and some spruce or something along those lines, some more base green colors, and probably some terracotta. Honestly, probably all of these resources, just in a different capacity, I think would work really well in these kind of greener trees. So like instead of the base being hay bales or what have you, like it is with this, the base would be a more like typical oak or spruce green. And so from there we can kind of add that yellowing texture, that just like twinge of age. Hello. Is acacia. That's useless. I don't know what that is. So yeah, it's definitely going to take a while, but you know, a lot of this area is already pretty cleared out, sort of like we did last episode with the fields over in that direction where the actual city is going to be. And so I kind of want to do more like nature in this direction, like the forests, the wilderness, in a sense, in kind of this direction, and then in that direction over there where the city is, obviously like city, and kind of having that branch out in those two kind of different opposing directions, and like aesthetics, I guess. Aesthetics, climates, I don't know. You get the gist, I hope. But yeah, so I think for the time lapse, this video, I'll be working on a sort of outline, a frame, sort of like that for another building, right around over here. Probably I'll do something right here, and kind of fleshing out this path a little bit. I say fleshing out, more just kind of marking down where I think I want it to be. And eventually this will be the same path leading all the way over here. and going on through here, and this will be like one of the central areas of the city, probably like the a square. So something that happens, this is more common, I want to say, in American cities, but something that happens historically in American cities or cities is there will be small towns, and they'll have their squares, their centers, their downtowns, what have you. And over time, this general area will grow bigger. And so, if you look on the map, they'll start to geographically connect. And then it all just kind of becomes one big conglomerate area, and it eventually becomes a city. And so something that happens with that is you start to have multiple squares, multiple like downtown areas that, if used to be their own kind of little towns, little villages, but because they connect, they become just this one conglomerate city. And so I would like to kind of implement some of that sort of technique into developing this city, this area. And I'm thinking that one of the bigger parts of the town, in terms of like the lore or what have you, will be over here. And so probably somewhere in this area will be one of the like town centers, so to speak. And it'll be a little more grandiose, we could say. And probably that over there will in some capacity be sort of like a town square. And then I'm thinking, because we have these two lava lakes so close together, and I still want to do the thing I was talking about last episode, with the like fantasy, kind of drawing magic up out of these lava pools, and they're like this kind of portal into another realm that make it easier to access more magic or like magical energy. And so because we have two of these very, special kind of important lava lakes here, we'll have a kind of grandiose gate right here to signify entry into this part of town. This kind of what I imagine Houston would have been the main, like the capital town in the area, or like the bigger of the towns in the area. And then, I'm thinking over there we can do like a port city, or that kind of something that has that kind of function where we can build like ships and stuff, but that's something for later on. And I also, on the topic of like trees and stuff and shrubbery, I am actually going to go and place some blocks here just so I remember about the gate. But the kind of, what was I on about? Oh yeah, on the topic of like greenery and trees and stuff in landscapes and like world building. I've been looking into various types of trees on top of just generally trying to pay more attention to the trees at home, at my home in Tennessee. And I, 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 I found out recently about this, not really a tree, but like a bush that looks, that can become like a very small tree, called the, I believe it's Kionothos, is the like technical name for it, the scientific name, which comes from Latin. And then it's colloquially, it's known as the blue blossom tree or the California lilac tree. And normally I think they have white buds, but there are some that have blue buds, and I find that really interesting. I don't know how we'll use it in this world specifically, in this city, the Shellen, but I definitely want to use it in my world building, and therefore probably in this. And it's probably, you know, it's probably going to be kind of like these, what are these called? Not orchids. You are annoying. You are annoying, therefore you die. Hold on. Hold on. Takes me a second to read the Japanese. Not proficient yet. Yazumagi. Yep. Yaguru. Magi. I give up. Cornflower. Yeah. Interesting. I wonder what Yaguru comes from. Why are there so many? Gee, can't a guy just stay up all day and night and not sleep and just live off coffee? Like a normal human being? Gee, man. My coffee was supposed to get rid of you guys. Dude, that is actually a fire idea. Okay, so hear me out, hear me out. If you want to stay up at night, in Minecraft, you can, without having to deal with the phantoms, you can drink coffee, right? But as a downside, your overall health, or maybe hunger, I think, let me think. Some sort of downside where, like, your hunger or your overall health slowly goes down until you sleep again, and then it kind of refreshes it. That is such a cool idea. I need to get someone who actually knows how to make Minecraft mods and get them to make that. That sounds like a fire idea, dude. I love that. I love that. That should so be a thing. Okay. Anyway, back to the city thing. So the trees will be kind of like these cornflowers. Yaguru. I still don't understand where Yaguru Maguku comes from. Probably another language. But probably corn in like a Spanish or something, or maize. But so that I think is a really interesting color of tree. And then there's also, of course, cherry blossoms, which I find really interesting, and I definitely plan to use those a good bit. And also, what else? I want to do something sort of like wisteria trees, which, if you're familiar with Demon Slayer at all, they're a kind of like purple-white tree in that. And they're a real thing too. They're not just made up for that show. But wisteria trees are these kind of purple, willow-like looking trees, and then you have the cherry blossoms, which is more pink. And then they're not quite trees, but the Kainothos, the blue blossom kind of bushes, are the kind of blue shrubbery that we can kind of use to decorate things. And then, of course, just the base like green and different shades of green, and then, like, you know, the autumnal reds and golds and stuff, or more so reds and yellows and browns, and then the, like, very yellow tree over there. in real life, there's a very golden tree called the ginkgo tree. And that I think is a good source of inspiration for the trees. But anyway, my point is, with that I just realized that kind of all slipped out of my brain in a weird way. Anyway, the point is, there are a bunch of like different colors of trees we can experiment with, and the base should, of course, be the like green, and then the kind of autumnal version of that, or the leafless winter version, the kind of like dead trees. But then we can also do leaves with like gold colors, purple, pink, blue, on top of, again, the green and autumnal. So point with that is we can have like a lot of variety with our shrubbery that can spruce it up a bit and make it look a lot more interesting, even within the realm of just green. Like if this were, you know, like 13 different shades, if this were like 12 different shades of green, like if you could pick out 12 different types of green and like yellowish green in this, it would make it way more interesting, right? And that's kind of what I want to do with the trees in this. That spiel was a lot longer than I expected, as it normally is. But anyway, with that, I'm gonna get on with the time lapse, and we will make that frame over there. And yay, progress! Woohoo! Swine! Out of the way! I should place some torches down. Welcome back, guys. Hope you enjoyed the time lapse. So, I got more done than I was honestly expecting to, and part of that is because I was actually able to keep myself from putting way too much detail into the roads, but I think we have a pretty good outline of where the roads are gonna kind of go. But yeah, and then of course we have this lovely building right here. I haven't been looking a whole lot into architecture more than I like from what I already know, but I have been looking a little bit into some various styles of architecture and stuff. So I'm considering how to implement some new things like kind of Greek style pillars and stuff, and just kind of learning some new interesting things about historic architecture. But yeah, this is we're gonna fill this up, and then probably next episode we'll continue some stuff with the roads, maybe start working on adding some street lanterns and roads, lanterns, and probably another building or two. Depends on kind of how I end up divvying up my time. But yeah, I'm ranting on. Hopefully, I hope you guys enjoyed. Song of the video is Shula Rune by Anuna, I think. I'm pretty sure it's originally an Irish folk song of some sort, but the one I've listened to is performed by Anuna and another orchestra. Yeah, that's the song of the video. Consider liking and subscribing and all that jazz. And hope you guys enjoyed. Stay righteous, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Johnny! Shui. I should have done that a long time ago. lovely sunrise at just the right time. Isn't it beautiful? I'm gonna go to bed. She is like a giraffe!